Is it clear and defined? No, they can't. So I think if it's Georgia-Texas, I think Georgia wins this game by a bunch.
You guys, a lot of people think Oklahoma's going to make it into the playoffs in that number 4 slot. We'll see what happens. If that happens, that's Alabama and Oklahoma in the Cotton Bowl down in Arlington. Matt, we'll start with you. What are your thoughts on that?
Unless Kyler Murray has the game of his life, and I just don't think even that's not going to be enough. Oklahoma's lack of defense just is scary, and it's a huge red flag. If you fire your defensive coordinator midway through the season, and then you expect to stop a team like Alabama, that would be like me challenging Usain Bolt to a 100-meter dash, Tom. I'm not going to win. I mean, it's a no-win situation here for Oklahoma against Alabama. I think Alabama, if this game is anywhere close, I think you'd have to be more worried about Alabama's chances in the championship game than saying Oklahoma had a good game. So I think Alabama should win this game easily if it is indeed Oklahoma that they get in the college football playoffs, which will probably be in the Cotton Bowl.
Rick, Capital One Orange Bowl, you guys against Clemson. Thoughts on that possibility, scenario?
You know, when Notre Dame beat USC, I saw reports where the Orange Bowl had representatives there in Notre Dame's locker room, and they already signed the deal for that game. And I don't know if that is already part of this college football playoff process. I know we think the committee always has these meetings and decides who's going where. But for some reason, I feel like no matter what happens today, it is going to be Notre Dame in the Orange Bowl because I think that deal is already done and they haven't gone public with it yet. So I think they're going to stay at number 3 no matter what else happens today. You know, I think we start off the show saying that if Georgia won, Bama could fly back to 3 and push Notre Dame down to 4. But just because, seeing those reports how the Orange Bowl committee was already at USC and already basically almost signing a deal to have Notre Dame in the Orange Bowl, I think that's already a done deal. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know how it works. I'm not a behind-the-scenes guy. I'm an outsider. But
well, I know that after the game, Jack Nolan on the Notre Dame radio network said that there was an Orange Bowl committee member shaking the hand of Brian Kelly before he interviewed him after the victory. So I think this situation would be whether Notre Dame stays at a 3 or 4, they will just move whoever their opponent is to Miami for that game. But I don't think it locks them into the 3 or 4 spot at this point. But I think they pretty much, if they are in the college football playoff, which we believe they are probably headed to Miami against whoever it's going to be, whether it's going to be Alabama or Clemson.
And
Adam,
just to answer your question, Tom, just to answer your question, I do think Notre Dame matches up really good with Clemson. Clemson, for some reason, if you look, they do struggle against the pass, teams that can pass the ball. We saw last week South Carolina, it was 500, Matt, maybe you can help me out, 537 yards passing against Clemson last week.
Well, the thing is, though, Rick, with the common opponent, the fact that Clemson had their problems with Syracuse and Notre Dame beat Syracuse convincingly, that is what I believe is the tell that Notre Dame has a significant chance. Now, I'm not going to say they're going to win, but I will say they have a very legitimate chance to put a loss on Clemson and certainly give them some confidence. Remember, with the ACC contract, sooner or later, they got to play Clemson in one of these matchups during the season down the road.
Right. We're gonna give the final word to Adam. Adam, we're gonna have you just take us behind. Let's say you're a fly on the wall. You're Mr. Invisible Man. You're sitting down with the committee. You come back out and you give us a report. Here's what the report's gonna say. The playoff people are. Fill in the blanks and why.
Alabama won. They've proven to be essentially the best team all season. I wonder personally, though, about the schedule that they've played. I think the SEC West especially is not nearly as good as many people, ESPN would like you to believe. 2 is going to be Clemson. I think they're going to roll over Pitt today. 3 is Notre Dame. I think the Clemson-Notre Dame game, as Matt said, I really like Notre Dame in that game. I think Jerry Tillery is going to have the game of his life. And I think Ian Book can pass for 350, 400 yards against that Clemson defense. And lastly, I think Tom Herman, despite the fact that he's been a a thorn in our side this season, pulls the upset on Oklahoma, I think Ohio State slides into the 4 spot, and we have a rematch of the 2014 Ohio State-Alabama game. That was an instant classic.
Well, we'll absolutely see. We're going to be glued to it. I'm unfortunately going to miss most of the games this afternoon as I have a company Christmas party today. But, hey, nonetheless, we'll see what happens in that number 4 slot. We'll be glued to it. We're going to get into the NFL talk. Real quickly, guys, I don't know if you've heard the from Kansas City. They've released Kareem Hunt. Apparently he lied about beating up a woman there in Cleveland, ironically, there, Adam. So do you guys have any thoughts on that before we take a break and go into
well, it tells me to watch that these teams are taking these issues seriously.
Go ahead, Rick, and then you go, Matt.
Well, I was just saying the same situation is with Tyreek Hill also. There's no video of it. So what is the NFL standard here? There has to be a video before anything is done because he's pleaded guilty, a year or two ago, to the exact same thing. So why Tyreek Hill still is on a team that is there in Kansas City, it's beyond me. I don't know what the NFL's rule actually is on domestic violence.
Matt, go ahead.
Well, I think it shows that some of these teams are starting to take this seriously, where talent doesn't get you all the way through. Now, granted, we've seen others slip through the cracks a little bit here, but considering Kansas City loses a lot without Kareem Hunt with their high-powered offense, at least it shows there's some dignity in some areas of the NFL that certain player, it's not just about talent that gets you through. You've got to maintain discipline, et cetera. Now, granted, Tyreek Hill is still out there, but I think in this case they're making the right decision. It's similar to what we saw this previous week with what happened with another player of decent ability as well. So I think it's a good sign for the future right now. But, I think the slow reactions to this is the one thing that I had a problem with, and I think a few other of my colleagues in South Bend, Chicago also had a problem with as well.
Adam, do you have any thoughts? This happened in Cleveland, but apparently Kareem Hunt beats up a woman, lies about it, gets kicked off the team.
Yeah, this one's a really tough situation. I think Kareem Hunt, from everything I've heard, for the most part, is a pretty good dude, pretty upstanding guy. And from the reports that I've heard from people in Cleveland, I actually have a lot of family up there still. And a couple family members on the police force in the Columbus and Cleveland areas. This is a messy situation. The girl had previously tried to assault another female, said a lot of profane things, and Kareem Hunt made a really bad decision. Now, I don't by any means condone striking a woman. I do think this is one of those where, as the details come out, doesn't make it better. I do think Kansas City made the right decision, but I think the NFL has to they've got to firm up what their rules are around this, because it's a complete mess. Nobody knows timetables. Nobody understands really what their process is. I right now I feel for really both sides, because if Kareem has anger issues, he needs to get those taken care of. If this woman is also picking fights with bigger dudes, she needs to learn how to make better decisions sometimes. These are all around. It's young people making really dumb young decisions late at night, and as my daddy used to say, nothing good ever happens after 2 a.m.
Absolutely. Hey, real quickly, we're going to get into NFL talk. Joining us is a guy that I know you know, Adam, Kyle Courtney. We're going to talk about these Pittsburgh Steelers. We're going to talk a little bit about the NFL. We are going to merge into that talk. But Kyle, you jumped in at the right time. Welcome back to the balance, sir. We're talking about Kareem Hunt getting booted from the Kansas City Chiefs for lying about beating up a woman. What are your thoughts?
I think that the biggest concern that I have about the whole I guess process behind how the entire matter was handled is that this information was known in February. you would think that in what we would consider a post-Ray Rice world at this point, that when there is video evidence of something, while they obviously took some effort to reach out to the hotel and try and receive the footage, reached out to the Cleveland Police Department to try and receive the footage, and said, "Oh, we didn't get any of it." I think it's just consistently embarrassing that a news organization like TMZ has more ability and clout and desire to obtain that information than the NFL, because quite honestly, if the information gets out and they can at least contain it, then it makes them look like they're actually trying to fix the problem if in February they were fixing it. But now we're in December at this point, and that's when the information comes out, and it makes everybody around the Chiefs organization, the NFL, and Kareem Hunt look really, really bad. So quite honestly, like, I appreciate what the Chiefs did. I understand why the decision was made, but it also kind of feels like a little too late. I think the joke now is that everyone's just waiting for the Redskins to sign them, just to sign Kareem Hunt, just like they did with Reuben Foster. But I think that there's a whole lot of, as Adam was pointing out, there's a whole lot that people need to do in order to really fix this. This is a $14 billion company. Like, you should at least have a centralized focus of how you handle these types of situations, which it seems are becoming more and more active, just to put a cap on all of that.
Well, we're over on a break. We've got to take a break. Adam and Rick, are you going to stick around for NFL?
I can stick around for a little bit. I got to get going.
All right, go get your hair cut.
Yes, sir.
All right. My name's Tom-Marquis, Presidente. Myself, Adam Jividen, and Kyle Courtney will be back. We're going to talk some NFL talk about the Browns and Baker Mayfield. I'm not allowed to push buttons. Baker Mayfield and the Browns and the Pittsburgh Steelers without the bell. We'll see what happens right here on the Balance Radio Network.
Players, put your pinky rings up to the moon.
The Air National Guard is a reserve component of the United States Air Force and serves alongside active-duty Air Force members in times of a national crisis. In addition, the Air Guard serves the state and local community in a wide range of capacities. The reason people join the Air Guard is as diverse as our members and includes such reasons as a deep desire to serve their country, money for college, travel, new job skills, and the pride that goes along with belonging to the greatest military organization in the world. I joined because I felt a calling to serve my country, but I didn't want to be far away from my family, so the Indiana Air National Guard was a perfect fit for me. With over 95 different career opportunities to choose from and 100% paid college tuition to any state-funded college, why not give us a call? Call 1-800-841-3103 or visit online at goang.com to find out more. Again, that's 1-800-841-3103. The Air National Guard, guarding America, defending freedom.
It's double trouble, double the fun at African Safari Wildlife Park in Port Clinton, Ohio. See the largest antelope on Earth, the giant eland, and the ugliest creature on Earth, the African warthog. There's so much to see and do, including the Midwest's only drive-through safari. Feed the animals, see live educational shows, feel the excitement. Have your picture taken with a python or cockatoo. Feel the adventure. Shop the Symbol Lodge gift shop with items available from around the globe. Visit the snack bar or picnic facilities. Enjoy a pony or camel ride. Or cheer your favorite porker on to victory in the famous Pork Chop Down. Bring your family to see the rare and exotic animals at African Safari Wildlife Park in Port Clinton, Ohio. Just take Route 2 to the Route 53 North exit and follow the sign. Only 17 miles west of Cedar Point via Route 6. Open every day, rain or shine.
All right, right, welcome back to the Balance. 1 hour in the book. Thanks to Matthew-Embury, rick-riggin, and Adam Jividan joining us for some college football talk. Jumping on now is Mr. Kyle Courtney, the one, the only Big